Bright suns and rising moons, fellow droids. I'm Mayuri.
And I'm Danny. And welcome to another episode. Is it another? No, this is our first episode after our introduction. We're a podcast now. No longer, well, we're still a thought, but we're a thought in progress.
Nice. So, what is our first episode about?
Our first episode is actually 6 shorts. We are covering the Young Jedi Adventures, season 1 of the shorts, and there are 6 shorts, and they released in March and April 2023, depending on which platform you were watching. They run about 5-6 minutes each.
They were a really easy, fun watch. I think it was a great intro to Young Jedi Adventures.
And each character, you learned a bit about each character and their vibe.
Yeah, what they're good at, what they like, their names. Always very important.
Yes. I was surprised that our Young Jedi already have lightsabers.
Everything I know about Star Wars was you must build it, but I was like, this is a kid's show. We have to suspend a little bit of disbelief because also I was very shocked that they were just going out into
my thought on this, even though it's a kid show, is this just takes place in kid universe.
That's true.
Yoda is the only
adult,
at least at this point. But even the villains or the bad guys, they're all kids. So I think we just live in a kid universe, and we just accept that that's what it is. The Backyardigans, it's all just kids.
I was gonna say it's very like PJ Masks, where as an adult I watch that show and I'm like, why are you not in bed? Who is monitoring you? Who is funding you? But yeah, it's the same. I'm trying to look at it the same way, but I will say it was very difficult for me. I had to stop sometimes and be like, where are the adults?
Yeah, so as you watch more, you need to remember
Kid universe.
Is just kid verse. We're in a kid verse.
So having lightsabers, going out on missions in the galaxy,
flying spaceships, and being the best in the galaxy.
Oh yes, those are all in universe because this is Young Jedi Adventures.
Who was your favorite character?
So far, my favorite character has got to either be the pirate table or listen, I love a villain
or bad. I don't think he's a villain. I think he's just like not the good guy here.
He's just not the good guy at first. And then I do like Nubs. It's just hilarious.
Nubs loves plants.
So adorable.
I'm very excited.
Just very strong little man.
Nubs loves plants.
Wait, who's your favorite character?
I like Nubs. I like the look of Liz. I was reading it and it wasn't coming together. I like the look of Liz.
Oh yes, the like diamond and
the purple. I'm always
drawn to purple.
But I really enjoy Nash, who is not a young Jedi.
No, it took me an absurdly long time in the context of watching these episodes to realize that Nash was not a Jedi. Because I was like, oh, every kid on this show is a Jedi, and I'm watching. It took me It took me until the second short. I swear to God, it took me till the second short, and I was like, oh wait, no. Nash is like the Han Solo of this series.
Pilot. And we talk about, as we all love droids, RJ-83.
So adorable.
Is a personal droid to Nash.
It's right up on her back.
It's like a backpack. It's a backpack.
I love it.
It's so cute. It has a very similar look to Lola in a way, which we haven't gotten to. So
I was going to say,
love droids. I'm aware of all droids.
I'm not familiar, but I do like it's a top head, which is what I thought. And I was like, oh, that's so cute for the backpack. Also, how come they have not made merch that way?
Right? I haven't seen any RJ merch.
No.
Loungefly. Just saying. I'm ready to cosplay some Young Jedis.
I was too, because I was like, this is adorable.
Who would you cosplay out of the Young Jedis?
Who would I cosplay? I would probably try and do Liz or Tabor the pirate.
I was waiting because you usually go pretty big. I was waiting for you to say Nubs.
I just like I think about the fur and it's a lot.
My one disappointment of D23 is I did not make it to the Nubs meet and greet.
Did it have someone dressed as Nubs? Oh my God.
And it's the one thing I didn't make it to.
That's such a bummer.
The Star Wars area was a rough area to get into.
I'm sure it was because I feel they have so many things coming. Everyone was probably so
Mhm.
excited over there.
Yes, and they cut the line really quickly as soon as it was filled.
Oh, that's it. They cut it off.
So I'm hoping Nubs will make a reappearance at a future Star Wars convention.
No, I was going to say, I really am obsessed with Tabor's look because I literally wrote down when they introduced Tabor, which wasn't until the fifth,
The
very Lord Z
enjoy this comparison.
was watching. And I was like, Lord Zed, like, I see you with the like, Yuna view, and it was red. And I was just like, I can't. At first, I thought it was a Mandalorian play. And then I was just like, I don't know. It doesn't quite look Mando to me, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the look. And I do want to get more in terms of cosplay, more into not just headgear, but all over like, face mask and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Star Wars is the perfect universe to do that in.
There's so many things.
These episodes mostly like, introduced each character. So each episode was like one of the young Jedi and Nash.
Which is great. And then the last two episodes, I feel like really set up the like, villain
The bad
of the
guy.
show, the bad guy.
The antagonist.
Yes.
I feel weird calling like a kid like
Well,
he is a pirate. Maybe we'll go with the pirate of the
there was another droid in the show.
yes.
EB3 is the pirate droid, and it is EB3 and the pig, which is Ford.
Yes.
They're very, I was like, super into the Power Rangers. And it really, what's the names? Bulk and Skull. They're very perfect children henchmen where they're just not competent.
Really, really low. They got our stuff.
They're like, oh no, they stole our stuff
They
back.
got the crate.
We cannot possibly go after them. I really loved it.
How did you feel about the Tuca?
Oh, I wrote Tuca Kitten. I like that Liz likes the creatures. They kind of call back, I think, to a lot. They bring up creatures all the time, which is nice. It's adorable. All the creatures are adorable. And I don't know if they're just more adorable because this is a cartoon. Oh, that's the Tuca.
So this is actually a loth cat. Cat is a type of Tuca. I googled this because I was like, "That's a loth cat." What do you mean it's a Tuca kitten? This is the Halloween one. That's why he has candy corn ear.
The candy corn ears. So it's very much just like regular cats. There are many different kinds.
It's a chicken cat.
It's the feet.
And
Look like chicken.
You'll
feet.
see more loth cats in future
episodes.
Series.
Are they just everywhere?
Specifically, the loth cat showed up in most recently Ahsoka.
Oh, it'll be fun to watch.
It's gonna just sit right here.
But no. So it was funny watching the first episode where they introduced everybody. And you see Master Yoda. And I don't know why, but it took me a second to get past his teeth because watching it and they're just little U's. And I don't know. I was just like, oh, he's looking young because this is set, what, like 200 years?
This is the start of the chronological universe.
It's set 200 years before episode one. So he's not a young man, I think. If what I remember about Yoda is correct, he's very old. But it is just funny. And I'm like, pop off, man. Send these kids out into the galaxy with no supervision because that's fine. But we live on planet Tanu, so there's always that. I actually had to turn on the subtitles because I kept hearing the words and I was just like, what is the word?
Yeah, it's essentially a new language.
So it was kind of nice, but I'm a big Mummy fan, and there was a call out to that and I'm sure it's not on purpose. But there was a call out to the library scene where Evie knocks over all the bookcases because they do the same. And I don't know why it's funny to me every time I'm watching, and I'm like,
do you know what we always get in a kid's show?
No,
a lesson.
Oh yeah, the lesson.
And our dear friend Master Yoda informed us that a Jedi always helps those in need.
That is one thing with kids shows. The lesson gets hammered home.
Kindness is our lesson. I think kindness was our lesson for all the shorts and helping each other. It was definitely all about building their team as Jedi and believing in yourself. We got that from Kai. We haven't mentioned Kai yet.
Oh yeah, Kai Bright Star. I did like his lightsaber only because it was green.
Well, you have go through all the lightsaber colors we have so far.
All right, so Kai Brightstar is green. Bliss is purple, which matches her look. Perfect idea. And then Nubs has blue. And then Nash, who's
Has a ship.
not. Nash has a ship, the Crimson Firehawk, which is a totally name for a ship. And then my favorite is that the pirate had some staff thingy-mabob with the pulse weapon at the end. And I was like, oh, I like that. Kind of like that weapon.
Is that what
Fun.
you would choose over a lightsaber?
No, the lightsabers are supposed to be able to cut through anything. No one would
Except
choose except each other. And then I will say, continuity wise, and this is Kid Universe, so I had to look past it. But there are times where the kids are fighting with Tabor, and the lightsaber part hits the center of the staff, where we know that that should cut right through the staff, but it
we don't know
doesn't.
what the stuff is made of.
We don't know what the staff is made of. Is there a material? Isn't there a material that lightsabers can't? Do we know? Let's check the interwebs. The only thing I can think of is possibly Beskar steel. Isn't that supposed to be the strongest armor? This is where my Star Wars intelligence is very low.
In my head, I had the Marvel steel in it. So there's a few things. Beskar is one of them, and that looks like it's the most well known. And
It's
there's
hard to get.
a few others, but we're in kids show, so we don't have to deep dive like that.
That's why I was gonna say we're in kids show, so there's probably so we can just pretend it's made out of one of those materials, and that's why the lightsaber doesn't go through it. But so those are the kind of weapons that we see. The only other weapon that I saw was that weird pulse gun that Tabor also has. And I can't tell if it's like an actual energy pulse or just a sound wave pulse.
We're still early on.
So that's why
We're
I was
short.
I actually rewind. I was like, rewind, please. Because I was like, how is that actually causing damage? I got overly focused about that weapon.
I would say, what are we wanting to see in this season? But these episodes really just introduce the characters. So
They introduce the characters, how they work together, where they're at, I feel like, in their Jedi journey,
yeah.
right? Because you see Kai struggle a lot with the Force and needing help and in like building his confidence up. So it's nice to see. So I am looking forward to seeing their progress in the Force, but also obviously it's a kids show, so all the life lessons they have learned along the way.
This is a nice light way to dive into the Star Wars universe, especially because sometimes it can be very divisive. So having this fun, cute kid show, it's also a great way. I know we recommended this to one of our friends to get kids started on the series.
I am
These
actually
fans, if they're not ready for the movies, because sometimes being a kid and watching a movie is a lot. But these are great little shorts that introduce you to Jedi and lightsabers and gets them excited about that.
I would say I talked to my sister, and she has two boys, one of which is 7 and the other one is 3. And I was telling her, I actually think you should start with the shorts to cut their appetite. And it's not so long that there's no start, middle, end within a few minutes. And so they'll start to get into it. And like, they're used to watching episode formats with Louis and those sorts of things. So I think that they'll catch what it's about without having to watch a full 25-minute episode.
Yes.
Which I think was a good idea from the creators to be like, here's a little snippet to like capture our target audience who are used to watching.
And to see, like, hey, do these characters work for this show? Are kids going to enjoy these characters? So here's some shorts and see if we need to switch anything up.
And
I
it's nice.
like our characters.
I like the characters. They all bring something different to the table because we find out that Nubs has super strength and Liz is a whiz at creatures. I really feel like I think Kai is our main.
I think he's going to be our leader. Not necessarily our main, but I think he's going to be the leader of the pack.
So I think it's like he's got a lot of strong qualities that he has to figure out. And honestly, the droid is adorable. The little spatula hands it has. And
like I do love backpack.
I do love Nash as a character because she is just.
I'm curious to see how she keeps getting involved with this because she isn't a young Jedi.
No.
I'm curious to see what little storylines we get from Nash and interacting with the young Jedi.
No, I think that's great. Sorry. I was going to say the other thing I'm kind of interested in is how they're going to sprinkle Jedi lore throughout the series. So, like in the shorts, I think it was the fourth one, they are sent on a mission to go find this Sela flower.
Yes.
And so I honestly wrote that in big letters and was like, is this a thing? Is this like a Jedi flower? Why are they being sent for this flower? And so that's where I'm just like, I wonder if like, throughout the series they'll
It's gonna
sprinkle
grow
like,
on itself.
and they'll just sprinkle little things for Jedi lore because again, it's set in the past that we don't know.
Yes.
And they're studying to be Jedi, so I would assume that at that temple we'll find out a lot of stuff because the Jedi are not decimated in this time frame, right? So
Younglings
there are
exist.
younglings, they're prolific, they're throughout the galaxy, and so I think it'll be interesting to see how many of them they interact with, adult Jedi too.
The next episode, we are going to actually dive into season 1, episodes 1 and 2, which are longer than 5 and 6 minutes.
So I think that the way that they're set up is they're like 27-ish minutes,
Yeah.
but each episode has two
episodes. So
in
4
it.
episodes.
No, that'll be great.
So I'm excited to dive into it, and
I really we'll have to catalog the life lessons to see the count. I think it would be funny if we just have a count. What's the life lesson here? And how many times have they taught us this before Kai actually learns it?
we shall see where we go once we get
Yeah.
longer episodes. It's hard to like talk about a show based on shorts because it was really introing each character and their skill sets.
Because it's not really like it's in universe, but it's not in the same timeline, I feel like, as the actual show. The shorts are just like, here are the players, here's where they live, here's what they like, and we'll have more to come. So remember, these are not the droids you're looking for,
but they're the ones you're gonna get.